Skip. My name is Amy Halston. I'm Associate Director of the Maine People's Alliance, and I want to thank you for all being here today to fight for a fair budget. As we talked about earlier this morning, last night we learned that Governor LePage's budget is even more unfair than we thought. The wealthiest 10% of Mainers are going to get 51% of the benefits of his tax cuts.
That ain't right.
That ain't right.
That ain't right.
No. That means that the top 1% are going to get an average payoff of $10,000 each in 2019. Is that fair? No. These are unconscionable numbers, especially when you realize the kinds of cuts that the governor is proposing to make to pay for those tax breaks. We're going to hear from some Mainers today who know firsthand what the LePage budget is going to mean for them and their communities. They're going to talk about the cost of health care, their local schools, Maine seniors, and our state's future. After we've heard from them, we're going to make sure that Governor LePage gets the message. So please follow the instructions that you should have and write your message on the gold coin that you were given when you came in that we're going to deliver to the governor. And if you could, for a moment, everybody hold up your gold coins. We're going to get a picture of what we deliver to the governor in just a few moments. Great. So together we know that we can say no to Governor LePage's pot of gold for the wealthy, and yes to a fair budget and the future of Maine. I'm going to invite a couple of folks up to speak out what the budget means to them personally, and I'd like to start by inviting up Meredith Ears.
No, I'm not.
My name is Meredith Ears, and I'm here to speak for our schools.
I was supposed to catch a ride and not leave here. I think someone waylaid me in the wrong room.
LePage's budget and our schools. They have already seen cuts and financial pressures, and this budget proposal will cause even more pain. One of the most exciting opportunities for our schools in our town is a new technical education program to help train young people in skills like underwater welding that they would need to work in our local shipyards. It's a program that will fill important jobs, build our economy, and strengthen our community. But the education and revenue sharing cuts in this budget proposal may mean it will never happen. Some effects of the budget will be even more dire and far-reaching. Every week at the Select Board, we hear from residents in dire financial straits. They come looking for poverty abatements on their taxes because they can't pay their taxes. We do what we can help with poverty abatements, emergency fuel deliveries, but in the end, it's very little. The fact that within a mile of where I'm sleeping in my cozy bed, there are people, my townspeople and neighbors, going without heat and without food breaks my heart. We need an ethical budget that puts people and schools and communities first, and not tax breaks for the wealthy. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Sonja Ramona. I have a success story. I faced persecution in my native country, Burundi, and sought asylum here in Maine. Prior to getting a work permit, I was helped by the General Assistance Program, which helps to meet the basic need of a young woman in a new country of Oyster. After receiving my work permit in January of last year, I worked first at a hotel in South Poland and now work 2 jobs as a home care provider. I do some of the most important work in Maine, helping to care for rapidly aging population and making sure my fellow Mainers can live dignity. I'm giving back to my community as the coordinator of the New Mainers Tenants Association. Governor LePage's proposed cuts aren't just cruel. They are counterproductive. GA provided an opportunity to get on my feet, cope with the legal immigration system, and then start an active life as a contributing member of the community that I am today. It's about building a future for me together. Thank you.
I'm Skip Oyster, originally from Harrington, now from Herman. I started as a clam digger, served in the Army for 4 years, worked many jobs until I settled as a postal worker. I'm here today because I'm concerned how seniors like me are going to be able to stay and age in our homes under the governor's proposed budget. Having a home you can afford to stay in through your whole life is very important to me because of what I watched my parents go through in Washington County. My parents were married 60 years and lived in the same house for 40 years. Their house was in my mother's family neighborhood. She lived next door to the house she grew up in with my aunt, brother, grandmother, and her church, all within blocks. She wanted badly to stay in her home, but as she aged, my father could no longer take care of her. And our family could not access the resources like home care that she needed. We had to make a very hard decision to put her in a facility, and she always lamented it until the day she died. That history in our neighborhood was pretty well torn apart when she had to go to the nursing home. Now, as I age, I cannot find secure housing. I don't know how I'll be able to stay in my community around Bangor, where I've lived for decades. The governor's proposal to cut the reimbursement rate for home care workers and oppose investments in affordable housing units hurts Maine seniors like me, the workers that will help us as we age and our community, as too many seniors struggle to get the care they need and deserve.
Hello, my name is Katie McDaniel. I'm the mother of a 12-year-old student at Auburn Middle School, where I serve as president of the parent-teacher organization. I've seen firsthand the importance of the programs Governor LePage wants to cut. I've experienced divorce, eviction, destitution, and homelessness over the past 6 years. The shelters and housing programs LePage now rails against are what helped us get back on our feet. I suffered a brain abscess that required 2 craniotomies and a mastoidectomy. It was Maine Care that covered my medical bills of more than $1 million, which I could never have paid. My coverage was eventually cut when LePage refused funding. Now the education and the future of my daughter is on the chopping block in order to pay for tax cuts for the wealthy. We work hard as parents to help teachers make the most of what little money they have for their classrooms. We pay for field trips ourselves. Our governor has threatened even more cuts in order to give the wealthiest 1% another $10,000 in tax cuts. Well, there aren't enough words for it. It just is fundamentally wrong. Thank you.
Thank you, Katie, and thanks to all of our speakers. Are we ready to take a message to Governor LePage? So here's what we're going to do next. We're going to take the coins, and we're going to follow Jim and Davita here are going to be the front of our line. We're going to walk silently up to the governor's office. There are other things happening in the halls of flags, so with hall of flags, we want to be respectful of that. We're going to try to walk in a mostly single file line, silently up to his office. When we get there, we're going to deposit our coins into the pot for a fair budget with stories about how this budget affects us and our dream for how it could look different. Everybody will get a quick photo taken dropping their coin. And